Love does not begin and end in the way we seem to think it does. Love is a battle. Love is a war. Love is growing up. James Baldwin.
Thank you for tuning in to Three Queens and Things, a space where queens connect. Our podcast will be bringing the latest and greatest topics of self-love and womanhood. Boom. Before we dive...
Y'all, this is how Three Queens is naturally and raw. We trying to be organized and trying to say, but this is what happened.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so Atiana, it's your turn.
Before we dive into today's topic of love languages, we think it's important to share a bit about ourselves each episode. So let's go ahead and kick off the round table. I'll start. My name is Ati. I am currently single. Is my relationship status.
Are you ready to mingle?
I am
In case
ready
any of our
to
listeners
single.
know somebody that knows somebody that knows
She wants somebody tall,
I'm
dark,
ready to-
handsome.
He gotta
good
have a
Trying to
job.
balance
briefcase.
between like a thug and a real estate agent.
You gotta have a briefcase and a beard. That's my 2 requirements.
You gotta have what?
a briefcase and a beard.
In 2017. We looking for unicorns. Okay, looking for
A
unicorns.
briefcase and a beard. Sit on my way.
But just in case somebody's listening, she did say a
I didn't ask
briefcase and
y'all
a
to-
beard.
I asked y'all to set me up 3 times on a date. Y'all just won't do it. Anyways,
We working on that.
We
Yeah.
working.
Anyways,
We working.
my relationship status is single. 3 things I look for in an ideal relationship: someone who is family oriented. I mentioned in the last episode I am huge on family, so someone who wants to build and someone who's also close to their family, who values family. So that's number 1. Someone who's loyal. I don't want to have to question how you feel about me from day to day. If you hear from me or if you're not here for me today, I need to know. And third, someone who's ambitious. I am currently on a journey to better myself and constantly trying new things and constantly trying to just better myself all the way around. I don't need someone who's going to be dead weight, who doesn't really want anything out of life. So that is huge for me.
She said none of that.
And if I can add a 4th, he has to be open-minded because I am trying to travel.
We ain't
And
asked for 4. See, that's the
Okay,
problem.
see,
See,
this is what
when we try to get it down to the nitty
The kind
gritty,
of friends
I
I
gonna
got.
come in here
Her
with 4.
dating profile.
Okay.
Like,
this
in
is what
audio.
Is this
I
on
put
the-
it on. This
It's
is my,
on the OK Cupid.
yeah, this is on my POF profile. Is in my bio. Since y'all would have cut me off.
Oh,
goddamn
I'm
it.
sorry. Share your number for.
No.
What is POF?
Plenty of fish.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
ain't
the
got-
married woman talking, y'all. She don't know. Don't
I
judge her.
really ain't got no plenty of fish. Don't be thinking. I deleted it like 2 years ago. But anyways,
It's ain't nothing. Take the shame out of your game, okay?
I'm not on POF.
She is now on Tinder, ladies and gentlemen.
Stop. Anyways,
Black people meet.
that's
sister.
me. That's my introduction.
ChristianMingles.com.
Mimi, that's you.
Okay.
That's childish.
This is Mimi Ford. I am
Mary, just so y'all know, she threw her ring up when she said that.
I am happily married.
We want to hear about your love story. Just a little brief. Not we don't need Atiana's
do.
description, but we could do a
Right.
little 3 bullet point.
See, that you just shut me down. Yeah. Tell us.
Well, we met about 9 years ago. I was 19. I was a baby. And he used to be a promoter for clubs and whatnot. And, you know, one thing led to another. He took my number. And then, you know, here we are. Fast forward.
Here we are.
Got married about 7 years ago. So, you know, it's a journey. However, it's a beautiful journey.
Your 3 things. What you looking for in your relationship? Because you're not looking for a relationship. So what are the 3 things that are important to you in your marriage?
3 things that are important to me are trust, hardworking, and it has to be more than 3 things. Just family oriented, you know, just a go get it type of attitude. Like, let's build together. Like, let's do this shit. Like, we this is something that we're building. We're not only in a relationship, we're in a marriage, where we're also, you know, trying to get somewhere in life. And great sex.
I know that's right.
And paychecks.
Can't have broke sex. Can't be broke this
Enjoy sex if you broke.
All right. All right. Well, I'm Sola. I am currently in a relationship that makes me super happy.
Ooh.
And shout outs to Atian, because funny story is Atian set me up on a blind date with my current boyfriend. So she do a little something.
A little
Do
something.
a little
And if
something.
only I could do that little something for me.
It's
now.
okay. We gonna get there. We gonna spin that black girl
We have
magic.
our very
but,
own Patty Stanger, the matchmaker.
In terms of 3 things that I look for in an ideal relationship. Let's see. I gotta remember what I told Atian before she hooked me up with my boyfriend. Somebody who is open-minded is critical. Somebody who is independent is critical, and somebody who's funny as hell is critical. Those 3 things I can say. You know, of course, there's other things you want, but usually those 3 things can kind of get you where you need to be.
Yeah, you have to still I feel like in order for relationships to be successful, like you have to be each other's best friend. Like, y'all gotta shoot the shit, you gotta crack jokes, y'all gotta talk about each other. It's not just seriousness all the time and let's pay these bills and take care of these kids and go to these jobs. Like, you have to that has to be your that's
that
my
has to be your best friend.
Yeah.
So since you are the only married one in the group, tell us what's your secret. How do you maintain a successful marriage?
Whew. Communication.
Ooh, say it again. Communication.
You have to tell them what you want,
get on my
what
nerves
you
sometimes.
expect,
Nobody's a mind reader.
what your needs are. You cannot assume.
We need a tambourine in here. Come on.
Just because you've been together for X amount of years that they're supposed to know. You're supposed to know how I feel and feel how I feel. Like, no. Men are simple-minded.
Ooh. King. You still king.
Yes, very much, but very one-track minded. And, you have to, as a woman, you have to communicate your feelings and your needs and your wants. So you definitely have to communicate. And vice versa. He has to communicate with you. If you slacking somewhere, if, he needs something from you, you have to communicate that.
Okay.
It goes around.
So, kind of transition into our next question. When did you guys know you were ready for a relationship? I will say for me, how I know I'm ready to date now is because I'm in a better place with myself. I would say like 6 months ago, y'all would have caught me. I was angry. I drove every man.
She was a little bitter, y'all.
Every man that looked in my direction, I gave him a nasty look.
What you looking at?
So now I'm in a much better place. I'm happy with myself. And, I feel like everything is coming together for me. Everything is in place as far as my career, money-wise, my credit score going up, body, waist snatch.
Sound like a little new Kanye workout plan.
Right.
2017.
Everything is good. Family's good. Health is good. And, I'm good with myself. And that's how I know that, the issues, because if I would have gotten a relationship 6 months ago or started dating, that just would have been somebody to help me try to fix my insecurities and make me feel good about myself. So I had to work that out. And now that I'm in that place where I'm okay, I think I'm ready to start trying to let somebody else in.
That's dope.
You want to I think for me, it's very similar. I knew I was ready for a relationship when I knew I was more okay with me. When I knew like some of the insecurities that I had with just how I that impacted my last relationship that I was in, or made me feel a certain type of way, I had to really take away from that and figure out like, how do I feel about myself? So when I could just really look at myself in the mirror and be like, you good, and feel good on the inside, feel good on the outside, because I think being in a relationship is a very big thing, whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's marriage. I think that's an even bigger step, but I think you have to be in a space where you're open to be vulnerable. And so that was an indicator for me, is when I was able to be really vulnerable with myself and work on the things I needed to work on. Once I come to a space where I was able to be open to being vulnerable with somebody else, because I think that's what a relationship is. Like, I don't know this person from Timbuktu. Like, I don't know them. They don't know me. We're trying to do this whole life thing, trying to do these things together, and we don't have a context for each other. And so I think a part of that, you have to be vulnerable, or at least open to being vulnerable, to walk into that context.
Well, my situation is completely different. Like I said, I was really young. I was 19 when I met my husband, and I was a kid. Like, all I knew was like, this man is really fucking dope, and I just want to be with him. So I didn't really know. Like, we were just having a conversation just the other day, and I was just like, we grew up together, and we're still growing up together. So everything that, you've gone through 6 months ago, I felt while I was with somebody. Like, I was in a place where I was insecure or not feeling my best. Like, I went through all of that with him. So I just really, I didn't know. I just knew I loved this man, and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. And I just jumped in, head first. Maybe it's not the best idea. And
I think it works for some people, though.
Thank God it worked out. But,
really
that's, I went in that with my eyes, wide.
My challenge is being vulnerable. And like Desola and I were having a conversation literally.
We always having this conversation. It's an ongoing conversation for all of us in life, but particularly you and I.
Literally on the drive over here, we were talking about, her new relationship and everything. But I was saying that I think a challenge of mine that I may have in my next relationship is being vulnerable. So kind of going back to our last episode when we were talking about friendships, I have an issue being vulnerable to anybody. Friends and relationships alike. So I know that's something that I'm going to have to overcome. It's going to be a challenge for me, but the person that I end up with or decide to actually invest my time into is going to have to understand that's something that I'm working on. I just got to find the right person that's worth it. And I was telling her, once you find somebody that doesn't make you feel like you out here looking stupid and they out here talking, entertaining so-and-so, that's when I think I might be okay, slightly open. It's going to take me a while. But that's always been my challenge. I've never had someone who made me felt comfortable enough to make me feel like I can open up in that way to, if I open myself up to you, that you're not going to have me feeling like regretting that I did. I never felt like, I never been in a relationship where I regretted opening up to somebody.
Yeah, that's a part of the risk, though. Like, I think overall, sometimes you don't know. I had to be intentional, with my current boyfriend to be like, this is what I need. Like, there's been moments where I've had very honest conversations that I've never had with another man. And that's because I've seen the value in what I enjoy in him, but I also seen the value in myself, that a lot of me being in those bad spaces with these other men had to do with me not being able to vocalize what was going on with me, what I needed, what I wanted. I wasn't doing that. So a part of the devastation with how those things worked out had to do with me and where I was. And so once I realized that I have power to choose and to be vulnerable without expectation of reciprocation. Like, I do think it's important that the person you're with is also able to be vulnerable, because that helps that process. But you have to make the decision and take that risk.
No, I can say I have definitely battled with being vulnerable. I think you see so many negative examples of relationships and women getting cheated on, a man out here with a side bitch and this and that. Like, you almost like, well, how you just sitting over here just with me, and
how you so fucking perfect?
Yeah, you gotta be doing something. Like, I've gone through that, and like, I had to really like look at myself and like, bitch, you are sabotaging your own fucking marriage. Like,
that has to do though is your thought of you being enough, if you being worthy.
And
like, that's what that is.
And I broke down and I cried and I said, babe, like, I don't feel worthy of this man. Like, I didn't know what to do with it. Like, I didn't have an example of, my parents were together, but they had a very volatile relationship, and my mother was the strong woman, and I'm not, submitting to you, and you're not doing enough, and always putting her man down. So that's the picture that I've been painted. So for me to be a vulnerable, submissive wife, and like, to a certain extent, man,
so bad.
And be, this man's backbone to support your man and uplift your man, I had to figure that out on my own. I didn't have that. So I had to just learn everything on my own, and it's tough.
Let's talk about that, about what you've seen, like, growing up as a successful relationship. Did you have any examples of that? Do you feel like that plays any part in the relationships that you build right now with your marriage and with your boyfriend? Do you feel like what you've seen growing up, as far as what a relationship is supposed to look like, does that play a role in how you
definitely
carry out?
What I haven't seen, like, the absence of, so I was raised by, like, I've never I think maybe one time my mom was married for a little bit, but outside of that, I've never lived with a man. So that means like my grandmother, my great grandmother. I was raised by my grandma, my great grandmother, and my mother.
By strong
and
women.
so by strong, very strong Black women. And so I never saw marriage. I never seen really a relationship. I never seen any of that interaction with a man. Like, what is that balance of, okay, I'm gonna, I'm gonna fall back, I'm gonna submit, but I'm also going to uplift, I'm going to empower, I'm going to create the space to be respected and create the space to be myself. So I never saw that, but because I never saw that, what I decided to do was get some books. What I decided to do was ask married people. I'm a person, you're gonna get to know this, but I like to ask lots of questions to everybody and anybody who simply looks like they may entertain me. But I think that's why that's important. Is I think people react to that differently. I think some people react and they are purposefully in those or unintentionally maybe get in those types of relationships if they seen turbulence. But I didn't have anything. So what I really try to do with my relationship that I'm in now is like think about things, talk to him about things, not just be in my head about things. Because I've done that for too long as a single woman, is to be in my head, because then it's like, but then that's still only your perspective. So I've had to have some like awkward conversations, like, okay, I've had, like, we've talked about marriage and kids, but not in the way that's like, okay, I'm saying I'm ready for this step, but really to like, what do you think about that?
And that can be uncomfortable, telling somebody like, I'm not good at this shit. You have to walk me through this. I don't know how to be.
But it's really, to me, that's the blessing of being in a relationship. I feel like I'm with a guy who is open to letting our experience be our experience, and open to being better, and open to learning and growing. But like, I know we both don't have that context of how that works.
Right.
Like we have to invent that. We have to, there's going to be shit we try that doesn't work. There's going to be things that we try that does work, and we got to celebrate, and we have to move on. So.
And you have to take into consideration like his upbringing. Like, did he have.
Exactly.
Does he value family? Did he have a figure in his life that showed him how to be a husband or the backbone of a household? Exactly. Like, does he know how to carry out, taking care of a household?
Because it's probably a new process. I think in my relationship is a new process for both of us. So. That's a part of it, is figuring out what that being. Read a book, ask some questions. Like, I love older married couples, younger married couples. I'm blessed to have those. Like, one of my friends just got engaged yesterday.
Congratulations.
That's exciting news. So I think it's important to ask them, like, what's going on? Like, how does and I think sometimes that's why friendship is important. Friendship is important to have with people who are at different levels of life, whether that they be married, they have kids. Like, I've always been intentional about having people in different spaces of life in my life, so I can ask them, like, well, what does that look like? Because sometimes when I'm ready to quit because I've never seen, a man throw his socks on the dirty floor and the woman yell, and then it be still a marriage or still a relationship. I didn't have that picture, so I'm thinking, like, am I supposed to leave him because his socks on the floor?
In our age group, we don't see that enough. We don't see successful. Like, with you, you're my only married friend. Like, Mimi, you're the only person I know that's in a marriage and you're happy, and it's just not common. And I've never been to a wedding. My parents got married when I was about 8, but they came to Las Vegas. That's how we ended up moving to Las Vegas. But they came out to Vegas to get married. Wow. And I don't have any friends that ever got married.
Wow.
So it's just like, it's not common, and I don't know if it's just our age group, our generation, or what it is.
It's our generation. Marriage just doesn't.
But it happens.
It doesn't exist.
We can't say it. I think it's harder for it to exist. It's harder because we're taught that we're not supposed to be intentional about a lot of things. But marriage ain't something you fall upon. A relationship ain't something you fall upon.
Not.
So I think because we're getting this image that, well, I'm just supposed to be me. I'm supposed to be self-made. I'm supposed to be doing this. Like, all of those things break us down to believe that we don't, a relationship isn't work. Like, I've come into a space in my relationship, like, I've always said, like, you don't need nobody, like, you don't need, but I would be devastated if he were to go somewhere. Like, if he wasn't in my life, I would be upset.
Don't leave.
Like, I'd just be like, well,
I've been there, like the Kevin Hart, like, no, I've been that woman.
Yeah, but like, but to open yourself up as a woman to say, like, okay, I understand in the larger picture, I could function in life without you. I could do these things in life. But like, to really be vulnerable and say, I don't want to, and to be honest, right now, it really feels like you need to be around.
Right.
That's hard to say. That's hard for me because I was raised to be a strong, by strong single Black woman, and it's crazy because my household is really different because there was never any bad talking of men. That was a different experience.
That's rare, especially growing up with a lot of women.
They weren't talked about. Like, my mom never talked poorly about my father. Like, there were things that were said that were truth, but there was never that negative connotation. So it wasn't that I grew up thinking negatively around men, or I seen men come and go. Like, I talk to my mom now about men she dated. I'm like, huh? You was dating him? Like, I saw him when we went to go volunteer, but you know what I mean? But that presence of a man. Like, I'm getting to know what a man is now. Right. At 26 years old, I'm getting to know, like, that's kind of what men do. They, not to generalize, because each man and each woman is their own person, but we live in a world where we group things together, and that's okay.
And it's
so that's
odd
what that
for
is.
me because I've always seen what a man is supposed to do and what a man's supposed to be. I grew up with what my mother and father have been married, like I said, since I was 8. I've never seen a time my parents weren't together. They've been together since they were like 16. My parents have been together their entire lives. So I don't know what it's like to not have, like
but those
that.
expectations too, that's where I wonder that even if you do have those examples, is that really an expectation of what you want, or is it just of what you see?
I think my dad set a really amazing example of what a man's supposed to do for a household, what a man's supposed to be, what he's supposed to provide to his household, and I do take that into consideration when I'm out here dating and I'm looking for someone to build. I don't look at dating as just like, is this gonna be fun for a little bit? What we about to do? Like, I'm looking at it as like, can I build with you? Are you about to do, like, my dad provided for us do every
That's
and
what a real man does.
Yeah, and so like
we got into the real man.
And it's possible.
Alert!
It is possible.
The Sola has an alert on.
A lot of my friends tell me that I have really high standards, and that's possible. But I've seen my dad be a strong man and a provider my entire life, and I've always been a daddy's girl. So I guess it's like, yeah, I'm not about to let nobody treat me less than what my dad has treated me my whole life. And that mean I gotta wait.
But what if it's different stuff? Like, what if I don't need you to pump my gas? What if I'm making more money? Like, do I need to, like, what does that provider look like?
It's in a man's DNA too. A real man's DNA.
Ooh, we got fake men out here, we didn't know it.
We got some posers and some fakers and some perpetrators. But it's in a real man's DNA to want to provide and take care of his woman.
But what about
that's what I
what about
my
men
father
who, like,
and
but that's in their DNA. Like, you've seen that, but like, what if some men weren't raised by men? So what if they don't?
My husband wasn't raised by a woman. My husband was raised by his grandmother.
But what if those things that provide? Because I'm sure, like, if we all put out like what we need or what we feel in a relationship, we gonna have a different list. At least I know my shit gonna be different.
Okay, see, that's what I don't like either. People making excuses for what a man is supposed to do based off of what he was raised or seen.
But that's not it. Y'all didn't let me finish. What if you have to show him how to do some of those things?
Is he open to learning, though? Because every man that I've met is completely okay with letting a woman take care of him. If you feel okay, if you don't feel emasculated by me, no, I'm serious. Like, my experience, and maybe, like I said, I'm the single one in the group, so maybe this is my experience. I've come across more than enough men that are like completely, almost like dependent upon women. They're looking for a woman. Not to say they don't want to build something with somebody, but they're looking to build with somebody who is going to take the lead. My dad was always the leader. My parents were a partnership, but there's a lot of men that wants the woman to, you need to uplift me, and like, you need to treat me. I'm okay with treating you like you're my king, and you are my king. If I
act like a king,
right? Exactly.
Conduct yourself as such, so I can treat you as such. You can't get the title without the work. I'm
looking for a woman that's gonna stick with me while I get my stuff together, and it's gonna uplift me and help me get to where I need to be. So they're looking for someone who, like myself. I'm not even about to like boast of myself, but just who's established and strong in who they are, so that maybe I can influence you or help you get to where I am. But I need somebody who's going to help me grow too. What about me? And what are you going to provide to me?
And help yourself.
I'm helping you get to a better place in your life.
Help yourself.
But that means I have to stay right here so that you can kind of build up to get to where I am right now. That means I can't grow, or I don't know. All I'm saying is there's a lot of men out here who's comfortable with letting a woman take care of them.
And if a man, this is my philosophy. If a man is really into you, and if you're established, you had a good job, your credit is, you doing you popping, you lit out here.
Waist snatch. I'm sorry.
Yes. A man is going to want to, okay, let me get myself together so I can bring something to the table. Or let me bring a table to the table. How about that?
Oh, yeah. What are y'all think?
I got the chairs, you got the table.
Right.
What are you supposed to bring as a woman? What are you bringing to the table?
The chairs. No, I'm sorry. No, I mean, I'm a strong believer in a woman is supposed to, I'm a strong believer in the man should take the lead. I have no problem submitting. However, I am an independent woman because I've always had to be since in my adult life. I've always taken care of myself. I've never had anybody to split the bills with, anybody to split anything with since I've been an adult. But I have no problem submitting to a man when I find the right king to be like, let me help you. Let me help us get to a better place. So I believe the woman should take care of the household. I believe a woman should, of course, work too. I'm not a woman that's just going to look for a man and take care of me. But no, to bring income to the household, an additional income to the household, to take care of the household, take care of the children when there are children in the picture, I think that is a woman's place.
I agree. I agree. I was gonna say something.
I need my boyfriend to be listening and know that
left
might not
my
be
mind.
the same here.
In my situation, I feel like we butt heads a lot because I'm married to an alpha male, and I am an alpha female, and I'm very strong. I was raised by a strong woman, so I don't know anything else but to be a strong woman, to be very vocal, and he is stressed like, just be soft. Be soft. And I don't know what, I'm still trying to figure that out. What do you mean be soft?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you want me to cry? Like,
right. Cause I'm not, you want me to cry?
I ain't
like,
cry for
like,
you.
what do you, like, I don't understand that. But, you know, we deal with it and we butt heads. But we get through it.
So what do you feel like you bring to your marriage? I feel like that should be talked about in the first date or the first interaction, like what I expect you to bring or what kind of value I expect you to add to my life. Like if we're gonna go forward, I need to know like what are you gonna, not in the sense of what are you gonna do for me, but it's maybe, and then maybe this is where I'm wrong, but I've been okay by myself for all this time. Like I need you to tell me.
Be honest. What are you gonna do for me? That's an
and
honest.
I hate to say that.
Don't hate to say it.
Okay,
embrace that because that's what you want to know.
It's odd because I've spoken to, and maybe we can kind of touch on interracial relationships, because I've spoken to a black man, and he's told me the reason why he doesn't date black women is because they have this attitude is, what can you do for me?
You damn right I got an attitude about what you gonna do for me. Shit, you damn right. Everybody needs to have that attitude because it needs to be a mutually satisfying situation.
We're all in it for something.
Like,
but their presence isn't enough. Like,
but I don't think that has anything to do with white. He wants to date white women, so just say you want to date white women.
Because white women treat him like, I appreciate you being
don't
here.
Just say that. Honestly, I feel like it takes a real strong man, a black man, to deal with a black woman. Yes, we got issues. Like we
not all black women.
Not all of us, but we are a lot, and it's a package. Like we are, for the most part, very strong.
We are dynamic.
Yeah, very headstrong. Probably raised by another strong woman, so we inherited that. We're hard to deal with. We're a lot.
I don't know if hard to deal with is a. I don't know.
I mean,
if
maybe for lack of better words, but
I think what we have to take into consideration is our cultural upbringing, our socialization, and how we've been institutionalized throughout our history. That provides us to be in a certain space in a certain way because we are taught that we have to be a certain way. When we were separated from our families, when we are put as the only contributor to our household, that creates a certain hardness. And I do believe that, 9 times out of 10, that's probably not the right statistic, but we do have a hardness to us as black women because we have to walk into a very hard world.
Right,
and I think that, a lot of that has been used as coping mechanisms. A lot of it has been just used as survival tactics, which I don't think is right or wrong. I don't think it's always healthy. That's something that I've experienced from being in a relationship is I feel soft. And that's something that over the last couple of months, I've really had to come to terms with what that means for me, because feeling soft, it's not a feeling that I'm used to. Like,
sold out.
My boyfriend's not white, y'all. I don't know if that's what you were saying. He's not white.
Okay, so let me say this. A big thing for me is protection. I need a protector. That's one value that I'm looking for in a man. So, do you feel like your man provides protection as far as just like he feel, not even in the sense of like if y'all out,
if somebody gonna pop up, if he gonna be like, what?
That, and also like I feel like if I'm going through something, you got me. Like if it's something even like personal, like you are my backbone, and I know that I'm not in this alone, no matter what the situation.
Emotionally, it's like, you got it, babe. We got this. It's not like, oh, well, let me give you a hug and let's cry. It's like, you need to stop crying because he's very logical. You need to stop crying because it's going to be okay. I got you.
Right.
We need to do this, this, and this. You don't need to soak in it.
That's security.
So, it's not like, well, let's cry and,
No, that's security.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, do you feel like your man provides you protection?
Absolutely.
You feel secure with him? You feel like if anything...
I feel secure, like, emotionally, physically, spiritually.
That's important.
Academically, I feel like he has an interest and he has a perspective that I would trust to make decisions that, would protect me.
Yeah, that's important.
But I think another thing that, what were we talking about? I think that another thing that's important for me in terms of what it bringing to the table is, I think, innovation. Like how we are not only going to, I'm not a person that's okay with being content. Like I don't picture any point in my life being content.
Right.
Like I think it's all about the next step and creating
Yeah.
better
Elevating
decisions
yourselves.
and an elevation. Absolutely. I think balance is something that I bring to the table, that I'm able to balance out things and I'm able to deliver difficult conversations. So if you're not willing to make them, or you feel uncomfortable, just we'll always be here to provide that space for you. And I think, that peace. I think that's important, to bring peace
That is important.
to your mate. I think that to me, so rather than like I'm going to take care of the kids, because I think the way things that my boyfriend might like kids more than I do. You know what I mean? Like, not to say I don't like kids, but I think he has passions around it that I may not have. So
I think that kicks in once you have a child. Because I have friends
not for
that have
everybody,
kids.
and for every woman, that's some shit we need to get rid of, because not for everyone. Every woman doesn't have those things in her, and that's absolutely okay. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to be the one always cleaning up the dish. Like, I'm not going to play roles like that. But what we both need to bring is that peace, that innovation, that not consistency, but commitment. Like, I believe love is a choice. I believe that there's things that happen, but we make those choices, and I believe that you should make a choice that you feel good with and commit to that choice. Like, every day when you wake up in a relationship, in a marriage, you are waking up to commit to that person and commit to you doing life together.
I think what people have to realize is that relationships or love it's an ever changing, evolving entity. It's not going to stay the same. So I feel like in my marriage, something that I've dealt with is, when you were 5 years ago, you didn't do this, or you didn't like it. We had to realize, like, we're not going to stay the same. Like, we were young, we're still young, and we're changing, we're evolving, make different choices, we think different things, so it's a changing. You have to deal with the changes that your significant other is going to go through and support them through those changes.
Absolutely.
So that's a struggle and an important thing to make sure you kind of tap into.
So, Desola, remember back to when you were dating before you found your boyfriend. What were
she about to bring us some old shit.
I'm just wondering, what are some of the struggles you came across? Because I know there's plenty of women out here, such as myself, that are dealing with the struggles.
I need to be intellectually stimulated. And that is something that was hard for me to find. And if I found it, it was hard for me to also find that openness to try out a relationship, to try to commit, because I'm not a person that loves dating to date. Like, I don't like, I know when I like something. Like, the first date I went on with my boyfriend, I was like, oh, he's gonna, I caught you. Yeah, that's
he's the one. Yeah,
he's the one.
I'm about to fuck with him for a little bit.
I don't need all of those options. I'm never a person that feels like I'm missing out on something, or I need to explore, what it's like to be with this type of person. Like, I just know what I like, and I trust my intuition, and I trust my God, and I trust my universe to align me with whatever those things are. So I think finding that intellectual stimulation, finding somebody who is passionate, that is a major thing for me. Ooh. I cannot deal with somebody who is not extremely passionate about something in their life.
Watching a man work on something that he is passionate about is
sexy.
So sexy.
Sexy. I think what else?
So did you try out the online dating? Like, what are some things?
I am not an online dater.
Yeah, ditto.
I'm not, I don't have the capacity to small talk that much, or to like, I'm a people person. Like, I'm very few people believe I'm an introvert. I have extrovert expressions, but I truly need to be by myself for parts of the week or the day, or like really the day, so I can energize. But people do also energize me in some way, but being by myself energizes me the most. But I like to be around people, so I like to be able to connect, and I think that screen that just doesn't give something, that blocks something for me.
I just feel like dating in 2017 is so difficult, especially of course, when you're looking for something solid and somebody with substance. Because
I've been in too many situations.
So the world is so superficial and just hung up on social media, and if you don't look like this picture, then if you're not no bad bitch, then I can't.
What's a bad bitch?
What, like, for quote unquote, like,
but not really, though.
I don't know.
I don't think they know. That's the problem. I don't think like, okay, when she wipe her makeup off, if she's still gonna be a bad bitch, because I feel like it's some bad bitches out here that just might not look that Kim Kardashian look. Because I have nappy hair, and like, I still feel like I'm a bad bitch. Like, that's,
and as you should.
You know what I mean? Like, but that image of like what that looks like, or even being in a relationship, who you're supposed to be with, how that's supposed to look, like even just the social media. Like, I am really like, my boyfriend and I we still don't follow each other on all social media, and I feel like that is
That's what I was gonna ask next.
Fucking okay.
So how do y'all feel about social media playing a role in your relationship? I always said the next relationship I'm gonna be in, I have no problem deleting my social media. I feel like it does play a huge part, and I feel like people start to develop their own opinions around like.
I feel like you have to be protective of your relationship at all times.
Definitely.
And social media is definitely can be a
get in
threat.
the way.
And it depends on how you live your life. It depends on the boundaries that you have. But I am a person that like it's a tool for me to connect with people. I don't feel like either one of us is high. I don't feel like I'm a hidden person in my boyfriend's life, and I don't feel like I would hope he wouldn't feel that. You know, he would feel the same way. But I just don't feel like I need to blast every time we go on a date.
Right.
Or, like you follow both of us. Sometimes you probably don't even know we with each other unless we like. You know, like I just don't feel like that has to play a major part.
I feel like if you're in a relationship, if you don't have any additional business on social media, then why are you on social media? If you don't have, running your business, or you need social media for your business, or, you need a following for a particular reason,
right?
Then why are you here? You should not be here.
I think if you are gonna like, I think it works for some couples though. Like I see couples that I don't think that social media. I don't know. I guess I've never talked about it with them either. But I just don't. I don't know if I know some of my friends have looked at me like, y'all not friends on Snapchat. Y'all not. We halfway had a conversation about it, and he was essentially like, maybe like I didn't know if you wanted your privacy, like when you out, and that's real. Like I appreciate him thinking like I didn't need it, so that's why it was never addressed. But I always feel like a relationship is in three parts. It's each of those individual people and then your relationship as an entity, and that's something that's important to me. I'm not one just like we become one, like we become three.
I am slightly possessive. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yes.
I will be watching who likes your pictures. I will be liking who you like pictures of, and you
better not be liking them.
Better not.
He might as well just go ahead and delete it.
Let me find out you like somebody's picture, especially somebody I used to talk to.
What you like about it? Because I'm gonna ask you what you like about it.
What you like? Okay, I'm gonna wake you up out your sleep.
No, that's a lot.
What you like about
I'm about to wake you up out your sleep to figure out what you like about.
Wake you up out your sleep.
Listen,
girl, I think you need to go sleep.
Listen.
Anyways. I just like I mean maybe that's why I create those boundaries, because maybe I have that person inside me, but I enjoy my boyfriend too much to like have the time and the energy to be fighting over some simple shit. Like we either gonna delete it, we gonna do it, we gotta go.
It needs to be that respect. Like if I'm like, I just don't feel like you should even be double tapping on a chick picture.
Right.
Anyway.
But like, what if she cute?
But don't double tap though. Just think it. What you gotta
That's
let everybody know that you like the picture for.
See, this is why I think this.
Just don't. Just keep that to yourself.
So he's supposed to have an Instagram and not like shit.
Yeah.
He's supposed to delete his Instagram. You and me now. You ain't got no Instagram.
You better like your.
We got an Instagram. We have an Instagram.
Who texting us?
Who texting us? I think that I don't know. Like maybe it's just I think there's still a lot of things that I'm trying to. I think we were talking about this other day when we were hanging out. Like there's a lot of things that I'm developing my boundaries for, because this is a different type of relationship. I've never been in this type of relationship, and which is a really good thing. But it's also that there's some things that I don't know how I quite feel about it yet, because it hasn't come up.
So, kind of moving along, what keeps your relationship spiced up? Do you send texts throughout the day, little spicy texts? Do you send pictures throughout the day? Like what?
I don't send anything currently.
You don't. You don't feel like you need to send your man a little.
I just don't think. No, I just don't
think.
think. Maybe, and I could be wrong, but I just don't think that that's a mutual thing. Like I've done it previously. Like I don't have no problem with that. I think you should warm with the sexy, however what works for both of y'all. But
we do not send pictures.
I don't do that in my current relationship
either. Yeah, we don't send pictures. I don't receive dick pics.
You know,
I don't think there's anything wrong with dick pics. So
listen,
I know y'all are different on that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If both people are,
not.
As long as it is not harassment, there is consent. I'm big on consent. Okay, don't be just sending. Don't be sending.
Do not.
I'm at work, sir. I'm at my 9 a.m.
Make sure your notes are private. They're not popping up on the pop-up screen. Make sure they go straight to the messages.
I am at a staff meeting. I do not need this right now. No, okay, so y'all don't send pics. So what do you do?
I believe you have to be flirtatious. You gotta, brushing your teeth like, hey, tap you on the butt, like, hey, you gonna get this tonight.
I wish I could say me.
I'm
gonna get that.
You gonna come get
that
it.
That sounds like some married shit.
All right.
I'm gonna get that.
Okay, so what do y'all think about your spouse having a best friend or close friend of the opposite sex?
Negative.
Okay,
so my boyfriend has a lot of female
Never
friends.
gonna happen.
He does, and you're okay with that?
No.
Listen.
Are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable. He doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Nothing makes me feel uncomfortable about it. But just knowing how life happens from my experience and perspective, I would rather that he didn't. But that's not something I can change at this point, or not something I feel like I need to change. Like I don't believe in all that. So I feel respected. That's what's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I felt anything other than that, he would know right away.
Right.
But I think that he should have his friendship. I'm big on friendships,
Right.
but do I like the idea he has a lot of friends, female friends or women friends? No, I don't like that idea. But am I comfortable? Do I feel respected? Do I feel honored? Do I feel cherished? Absolutely.
So if he came to you and was like, I'm about to go to dinner with so-and-so, we about to go grab drinks for a little bit.
Yeah, that happens.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not okay in my book.
No?
I just can't.
If your husband came to you and was like, I'm about to go grab drinks with Angela, you about to be
why
like...
Why you call Angela? You know that power shit is real.
You know?
Why you know hate people hate Angela?
Don't trust that shit.
You know
if your
people
husband...
hate Angela. Why you gonna say that name?
If your man going in for drinks with Angela, shut that shit
well,
down.
Angela's getting shut down regardless. Because Angela's a sneaky bitch. But,
all Angelas, Black Chinas.
I'll say that for another episode.
We ain't trying to discriminate.
Right.
Uplift the women, but we do have to
no, I'm definitely not okay with it. If it's not someone that you're dealing with on a business level, I'm not okay. And
I think there's a distinction. I do not. If my boyfriend came with new female friends that haven't been in his life for like 10 years, absolutely
Who
not.
is this?
I don't do new
Right.
female. I don't do, and I gotta watch that because that's so crazy how like I even switched to that female. Like I don't like saying that because I know that I'm saying that with a certain.
Right.
So
it is what it is.
Women friends, like if my boyfriend came with new women friends that have been like. Since I've been in your life, you just cultivated this new relationship. I would have a difficult time with that.
Okay, that makes sense. Like,
have you met his female friends?
No.
You have not.
Uh-uh.
Okay. Well, if you're in a relationship where you trust your man,
y'all got to see Mimi's face right now. She's like, "Girl, you tripping."
Right.
We're gonna have to line up. We're gonna have to have a group.
Circle back.
I eventually would like to meet them. Like I don't know. I think my boyfriend provides me a lot. I don't know if I hope it's not me being naive, but he provides me with a lot of comfort that I don't. He's the part. Like if it was anybody but him, I would not be okay.
Right.
But because of the comfort he provides me, I don't trip on. Like that's not something I think about.
So circling back for a second, if y'all can see right now, DeSola has on a Black Love Matter shirt.
Yes, I do. Black love does matter.
Freaking dope. So we kind of touched on slightly interracial relationships a little earlier. So what's your take on that? Basically, let's just get straight to it. Do you think that's something that is not really okay? I don't want to use that word. So
do you agree with?
What's your stance on that?
Me personally, I would not ever have dated outside of a black man.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
Ever.
Ever.
However, you can't. I mean, if you love who you love, is that your personal preference? You want, you're open to people, or no matter the race. That's great. Live your life.
Okay. Right.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that relationships means that it's not real. The love ain't real. I don't believe that at all. But what I do know is that there are a lot of. What's a good word for this? When you're trying to pick the words.
I know. I'm trying to
pick
careful.
the words because I do value. I have friends in relationships, and I would never want them to think that I think anything less of, because I do believe that they are in loving relationships.
Love is love.
But I do believe that sometimes we need to take history into account, and what is something that I would be comfortable with from my perspective. I've tried it. I've dated white guys before.
How did that work out? Because you
I
are
just. It didn't
such
work
a strong
Afrocentric, down home.
It didn't
sister
work
girl,
for me.
Black fist in the air. Like,
let me bring out my dashiki. Shoot, playing with y'all.
I couldn't imagine.
Like it didn't work for me. But I said I gotta see if it works for me.
Did they ask you to touch your
growing
hair?
up, black boys didn't show me love.
Did they ask you to touch your hair?
No, he didn't.
Black boys
but he
didn't
did
show you
tell me
love?
that interracial babies were the cutest babies of all time, and that's
some
right.
racist
that
ass shit. That sounds like a
because I was a beautiful black baby.
That's
right.
Brown skin, chocolate skin,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't believe that I used to say that about no. That just didn't work for me. So,
Right.
I'm happy to be in a relationship with a black man.
Right.
Shout out to all
That's
the
something
black
that I've
men.
always
Right.
like.
Black
You know,
kings.
shout out. You know, sometimes we say our shit, but
Absolutely.
I think that at the end of the day, that's where I'm happy.
Yeah, certainly.
I wouldn't like. I just wouldn't. That wouldn't fit me from where
What's
how
your
I view
stance
myself.
on it?
That wouldn't fit me.
My stance is, yeah, I'm definitely, I can't see myself being with anyone but a black man. I've dated once. I've gone on like 2 dates with a white man before. I don't know, it just wasn't anything in common. He was a cool dude, but it wasn't like, he was like a friend. I mean, we had a cool conversation, but it wasn't like, damn, I feel like I really connected with you. However, I do have a really close friend of mine who is in a very successful relationship with not only a white man, an older white man, and she feels very connected to him. So I know it happens. Like you said,
I think it's real. Love is real.
Love. Yeah. So you love who you love. However,
for me.
I personally can't see I guess from growing up, like I said, with my father, like having a strong black figure, you know, in my household, and like my brothers, I value my brothers so much, but it's just crazy because I don't feel like it's reciprocated. My brothers love my brothers, but they don't date black women. You know what I mean? Like, and they grew up in a household, my mother, and myself, they respect my mom and me so much, but you chase these white women, and that's your business. You know, like, that's your business. However, I value black men. Like, I cannot see myself feeling protected. That security I was talking about, I can't see having that with...
What if he was Tommy, though?
Girl, hell no. Nah, Tommy.
I'm like, listen, Tommy
can get it.
Tommy can get it. However, I would not settle down with Tommy. I need a strong black man to feel secure.
Ryan Gosling in my life. I don't need no goddamn Tommy. That's long.
Ryan Gosling.
Girl, no, but
I know someone that
on.
she's from Africa, and she only dates white men.
Like, that's getting into some other cultural shit.
What do y'all think about the sugar baby I mean, this is kind of off topic for interracial, but what do y'all think about sugar babies? Because the only reason why I asked this.
Are you on sugarbabies.com, girl?
Oh, no, I deleted my profile.
She's no more.
No longer on sugarbabies.com. I'm not.
I think, you know, I've dated older men, and I don't think that's, for me, that wouldn't be a boundary that, like, he couldn't be older. That's not a boundary for me.
I'm not attracted to older men. There is nothing.
She's not. I've tried. That's why
I
mean, come on to the 30+ clubs.
I will be 27.
Girl, what am I supposed to do with him?
Next Saturday, and I won't even look in the direction of a man that's older than 33. That's it. They're not attractive to me. I'm just not attracted to older men. And plus, and where I'm at with me being single, I want somebody that I can grow with. And an older man has already been there, done that for all the things that I find exciting.
Men, they say men
really
develop
not that much
slower,
older, like 30.
No, that's what I'm saying. 33.
Over 33. Okay.
Yeah, 33 plus.
40.
I'm not going. My brothers
it.
are 34.
That is granddad
My oldest
status.
brother's 34. I am
Granddad.
I would address him as an older gentleman.
Excuse me,
sir.
sir.
Excuse me, sir. I could not.
So, kind of transitioning. I know this is the Solo's area of expertise.
Girl, you know I love to talk about the love languages. Anybody that knows me, I know I've already recommended this book to you, so shout out to you. If you didn't go get it, now it's time to go do it. Okay? The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I think, oh my gosh, this book really changed my life. Like, I am a big on reading about love. Like, that's a passion of mine. Like, I read about it. I'm trying to be in a very intentional relationship because I think that there's a lot of things that we're brought up with that socialize us to be in a certain manner that is not healthy for us. So I am all about living a healthy lifestyle in all aspects of my life, especially in my romantic life and my friendships. So there is, again, the book, The 5 Love Languages, which identifies 5 languages that we use to love each other. And the reason why I think this is so important is I think we kind of touched on this with, you know, in our last episode about friendship, is that we put out something and we expect it to be returned. But what I think this book does is it highlights that we may be putting out something and that person may not be receiving it because it's not how their receptors are set up. So I may be, you know, expressing love in a certain type of way, expecting you to receive it, but really the way that you receive love is something completely different. And so what happens is there's a dysfunction that is created based off of a misunderstanding, because we didn't take the time to understand, or we really don't get why somebody is one way and not the other. So the 5 love languages we have are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, and quality time. And physical touch. So words of affirmations, acts of service, receiving gifts, and quality Oh, I keep doing that like it's the fourth one. Quality time and physical touch. So we definitely took the assessment. So what did you guys get?
I got my top. It was
Your top
actually
two. What are your top
it
two?
was a tie between quality time and words of affirmation, and I definitely agree with that. I am more of a I need your time kind of person. Like, yeah, receiving gifts are nice. However, time can't be bought and time can't be replaced. So for you could be doing anything in the world, but for you to take time out of your day, I'm a strong believer in you make time for what and who you want to make time for. So I think that if I'm in a relationship with someone, for the way that they can show me they are serious about this is to give me their time.
What about you, Mimi?
My top two were acts of service and physical touch. I definitely need to feel you. I need to be kissed. I need to be touched. I need to be slapped on the booty. Like, I need to be hugged several times a day. Like, when I see you, I need to feel you. Acts of service, I definitely need. Was it like washing dishes and stuff?
Yeah, doing stuff. Oh, yeah, I guess I should share the definition. So, words of affirmation, that means verbal compliments that express your love and appreciation. Example of that would be to brag to others about your spouse, write love letters. After any conflict would be speak words that build security and that initiate a sincere apology. Acts of service is any act that eases the burden of responsibility, whether that be washing dishes, pampering your spouse, offering to just let me do that. Let me take care of it for you. Girl, I got you.
That.
I got you.
Love it.
So after a conflict, that would be good to make behavior changes requested through the conflict. So if you're having a conversation and you know your woman, your king, your queen is acts of service, make sure that you're making the actual changes that you're doing what they requested from that conflict. Quality time means focused and undivided attention spent together. So putting that phone down, ain't nobody on Snapchat or Instagram, because clearly if somebody messaged you with y'all two, they messaging everybody. So to turn off electronics, go for a walk, plan date night, start a hobby together. So after conflict, again, that would be making eye contact, active listening with empathy, and not interrupting. So giving gifts, which is actually my love languages. These two, we got to the studio today, and they just wanted to comment. I was like, you the materialistic one, you know.
And I had to break it down.
Yeah, I had to break it down because this is the biggest. It took me a while to like get comfortable with my love language because it sounds so like, oh, you just want to receive all this stuff. You're not even. And so then I had to think about like who the person I am, and I know that that's not in my heart. That's to be in that way in a malicious or in a way to take advantage of somebody, but really is tangible symbols that reflect your thoughtfulness and effort. So receiving a gift, what that means to me, like when I was younger, my mom would always, like if she went out of town, even if like at the day during the week, at some point she would buy me like a piece of candy or something. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, but what that signified to me is like, wow, throughout my day, like my mom, she's doing all this stuff, and like at some point of the day she thought about me. So the same thing like in a relationship or from a guy, like those things, whether it's you took the time to write a note, you took the time to buy some quirky little keychain, it's not by means anything materialistic in the terms of expense, but it's a physical representation that you thought of me, a physical representation of something you wanted me to have. That means the world to me. How to express that: make a birthday and anniversaries really special, surprise them with their favorite treat. Like that's on me. Like,
and you asked me too, you're like, so if your spouse never spent a dime on you, never took you out to eat, would you be okay with that? And that's not necessarily what I'm saying, but I'm saying if I had to choose between one or the other, I would prefer your time over you purchasing something for
and that's
me.
your language. See, I think also my context is that I've been in a lot of long distance relationships, so I couldn't have quality time. Like them sending me cards every so often, that's what really was able to help keep that connection alive, or it just made me feel special. So that's me.
You're really good at writing cards.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you are.
So the last one is physical touch, and so I think this one gets construed with being sexual all the time, and so this is a non-sexual touch that reinforces your presence. So long hugs, gentle caressing, kissing, massages, hand holding. So after conflict, hold each other without saying a word and just cuddle through the night together.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, definitely. My second one, I don't think I touched on that, was words of affirmation. I do like to be reassured that the person that I'm with values me, and just hearing that and just hearing how much you appreciate me definitely makes me feel secure. So,
yeah, my second one is acts of service, and I think, I don't know if it's my pride or what it is, but if like I just mention something briefly to you and you take care of it, girl,
you gonna get these
girl
tonight.
tonight.
no, definitely. All right, y'all.
So yeah, well, we thank you guys for joining our second episode. As always, Sola T is gonna leave you with a homework assignment. So the challenge of this week, if you're single, if you're committed, if you're in a gray space, a situationship, friends with benefits, all I'm asking you is to, think about reflecting how important you are and how you love, and what's important to you. What are your 3 things that you're looking for in a relationship? Go take the 5 love languages quiz. We'll make sure that we post that to one of our posts, so you have the link available there.
Join the conversation.
It's free. Join the conversation. I think it's just important to really think about how you want to love, whether you're already in a situation or whether you don't know if you want a situation or you're just not in one. I think, or if you're in a marriage, like it's important. It's an evolving thing. You might change what you feel, but I think the important thing is for you to know what it is that sits well with you.
Right. No, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in to 3 Queens and Things, and stay tuned for our next episode. Definitely follow us on social media. Comment. Let us know if you have the same struggles as far as dating. If you're
let us know.
Successful.
Sola T wants to know.
Sola T will answer all of your life questions.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
At Queens and Things. Oh, at 3 Queens and Things. Excuse me.
3 Queens and Things.
And we will respond.
3 Queens and Things.
Yes.
Woo-woo.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.